this is Ada Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. I appreciate your comments and your engagement in the comment section of the videos. Some of you are good about letting me know when the comment section needs to be cleaned up. Please continue to do that, because people who are angry and need to vent and take their anger out on other people need to seek help outside of a YouTube video. I repeat the command to love one another in each video, not to be sounding like a goody two-shoe or trying to sound religious. Having the love of people in your heart helps you. It helps you to live peacefully with yourself and with other people. Not living peacefully with other people can do more damage to you than the people you're hating. And this topic today is a perfect example of that. I'm sure you recognize her. This is Nury Martinez, the former president of the Los Angeles City Council. And the headline reads, "Huge Price." LA politician whines about her suffering after calling rival's black son a monkey. So, we can't seem to get away from that monkey word. It's either the N word or the monkey word. Nevertheless, she is suffering because she didn't have the love of humanity in her heart. And because of that, her hatred was captured on an audio device and released to the public. And the world responded by saying, "You got to go." And now she's suffering. And let's see what she's saying. A year after the Los Angeles City Council's president engaged in a secretly recorded conversation in which she called the black son of a colleague a monkey, she told Telemundo, which is a Latino news network, she's paid a huge, huge price. And I might add that this is something she brought on herself. Nury Martinez succumbed to a torrent of outrage and quit her plum position once the recording of the 2021 closed-door meeting was leaked and released publicly. So she got caught. Now she's whining to the Hispanic public that she's suffering. She said she's paid a huge, huge price. So she wants them to feel sorry for her. "I let go of my position as the first Latina president of the city council," she told the outlet, maintaining that she is certainly not racist. "I paid a huge, huge, huge price for the insensitive comments I made." Yes, she did. They were very insensitive. In that conversation, it sounded like she was angry with the child for behaving like a child. And he was no more than 5 or 6 years old. But she's calling him a monkey because he's acting like a child in a parade. In the leaked audio recording from October 2021, released publicly by the Los Angeles Times, Martinez, along with council members Gil Sodello and Kevin De Leon, and LA County Federation of Labor President Ron Herrera, were huddling about redrawing of districts. So see, sneaking around trying to have a meeting before the meeting. Martinez, who was a Democrat and of Mexican ancestry, knocked her opponent, Councilmember Mike Bonnet, who is white, over the rearing of his black son, who she said he paraded around like an accessory. So again, it seems like she's angry because this white man dared to adopt a black child. I mean, this woman really has problems. "They're raising him like a little white kid," Martinez said in the audio recording. I was like, this kid needs a beat down. Let me take him around the corner and then I'll bring him back. Now, this was supposed to be a joke, You treat him like he's black and, the N word. Let me take him around the corner and beat him up and then bring him back. So, child abuse. Martinez also called Bonnie's son Paris Tanquito. I guess that's what that is, which is Spanish for that little monkey, and Su Negrito, which loosely translates to something similar to little black slave. Well, okay, Miss Conquistadress Colonizer. In the Telemundo interview, Martinez tried to explain that the phrase Paris Tanquito, which roughly translates to looks like a little monkey, was not actually meant to be a slight against the skin color of the boy. Oh, well, sell that to somebody who will buy the Brooklyn Bridge, because nobody else with any sense is going to believe that. Why reference a monkey at all when you're talking about this little boy? I mean, really trying to strip the child of his humanity. That's what she's trying to do. That's what they all try to do. Strip you of your humanity so they can treat you any way they want to. And she's talking to a Spanish-speaking audience, so they can see through that. They know what she meant. It was instead a horrible joke, she told the outlet. No, it wasn't a horrible joke. It was a revelation of who you are. So far, charges haven't been brought by the Los Angeles Police Department over the audio recording, but officials confirm that they are in communication with the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office and actively following up on requests for additional information made by the District Attorney's Office, according to a release by LAPD Chief Michael Moore. Well, they can do they can bring charges all they want to. Somebody who knew about them meeting in that office, recorded that conversation because they know the kind of conversation they have behind closed doors. They were in that meeting, those Latinos, to try to figure out how they could undermine black people in the city of Los Angeles, even as they were pretending to have a black and brown coalition. So whoever recorded it knew what kind of people they are. So even if they find out who did it, so what? It would be somebody who knows about them, and they would tell the police why they recorded the meeting. And it would not surprise me if a white person recorded that meeting. If a white person recorded them and released that to the public, it wouldn't surprise me. We have friends that live in Orange County, California. And my husband was talking to his friend not long ago, and he told him that, as quietly as it's kept, the conflict in Los Angeles is not between black people and Latinos, but Latinos and white people. So if you live in California, especially Los Angeles, you can speak on this. So let me know, where is the fight? So in that secret meeting, they were talking about redistricting, trying to gerrymander certain districts to get certain council members out of the way. They were trying to consolidate power for the Latinos. They were talking about getting certain people appointed to the city council who would go along with their plan to gerrymander everybody. It sounds like they were trying to gerrymander the people that were opposed to them out of office. So they started getting the Indians out, the Asians out, and the blacks out. And the next group to get out would be the whites. Based on the fact that many of them have come here illegally, procreated, and increased their numbers, just solely based on that, they want to take power. So the white people are always going to fight a power grab. Those Latinos may think they're smart, but they're not smart enough to outsmart these crooks that's been hooking and crooking and scamming all the time. The fascinating thing that's happening in America is that there are some power shifts. Things are shifting a little bit because the population is growing and changing. So changes are taking place, and everybody's trying to find a place for themselves at the top. Back in the late part of the 19th century through the 20th century, or most of the 20th century, the Latinos were classified as white. So they have been riding that white wave all the time because they weren't a threat. They were white on paper, but not necessarily white in reality. But in came the 21st century, and they started coming here illegally, and their numbers started growing and growing and growing. The white people decided to separate from them. So that's a part of their anger too. They created that Latino Hispanic category to get them out of the Caucasian category. Same thing with the Asians. The Asians seem to be handling it just a little bit better. But that's what all of these ethnicity wars are about. The white people kicked everybody out. We were never with them, but they kicked them out. So now they're trying to grab power, and it's still not going to work. This woman was overconfident. She thought she was in a much stronger position than she really was. And I think she thought she could move and shake like an old white man. And we know how they move and shake. But she got beside herself and her true colors showed. She sees herself and the Latinos as in opposition to black people. Even if the black people want to work with them, you can't work with the people if they're not going to work with you. And that's what the black people in Los Angeles can see. And it might be true for all of the Hispanics in office, so they bear watching. And she not only went in on this little black child, but she also went in on the, I think they call them Wakasans, the real Mexicans, calling them short, dark people and calling them ugly, just being mean for no reason. But karma caught up with Nury Martinez. She's out of a job. Her reputation is gone. She doesn't have an income. And in one interview, she said that her husband was out of work. She could have just been playing to the Latino audience so they would feel sorry for her. But regardless to what her financial situation is, if she's having to go before the public to beg for pity, that's still a punishment. She's struggling because she overplayed her hand and got caught, and there was nobody to back her and say, oh no, she didn't mean anything. No, they said, you got to go. And so that's why she's in the predicament that she's in. Again, the scripture says we are commanded to love one another. That doesn't mean you have to fall madly in love with everybody. It does mean you need to respect other people's humanity. If she had respected the humanity of just that little child, just that little black child, and those Wakasan people calling people ugly when they haven't done anything to you. If you don't have enough human decency and enough love of humanity not to bother the people who are not bothering you, then the karma that comes back on you, you really asked for it. Because if she had some decency about herself, she would not have been sitting up in that meeting plotting against people who were trying to work with her. She would not have tried to rob a child of his humanity and mock a group of people who weren't bothering her. What kind of bully do you have to be to do something like that? This woman, who really does not deserve to work in public office ever again, is trying to vindicate herself. I didn't mean it the way it sounded, but she exposed herself. Everybody knows who she is. And even though black people might be willing to forgive her on some level, I hope not, but knowing how black people can be sometimes, black people might give her a little break. But who's not going to give her a break is Mike Bonin, the man who's the father of that child that she called a monkey. He's not going to forgive her. So I think she can kiss any kind of political career in Los Angeles goodbye. She might go somewhere else and make something happen, but I don't think she's going to be able to do it in Los Angeles. But let me know what you think. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.